I'm live on all the things. I'm live on YouTube. Let me get myself out of the camera chair. I'm live on YouTube, live on Instagram, live on TikTok, live on everything at this point. Like just being uber efficient today. And let's just shout out for me for that. Just being uber efficient today. Hello, everyone. Hello, hello, hello. I want to talk about the Netflix documentary Get Smart with Money. It just came out today. I watched it. The Budgetnista, she had a virtual watch party today, this afternoon, and I watched it with them, and so good. So good. Y'all know, I'm getting back to the old school days when I would come on here with my notes. It's one of those. It's one of those. And I just want to thank y'all because I feel like y'all just hold space for me to just come in here and just talk about all the things. Like, y'all let me talk about, just different topics and just be more than a person that comes on here and like 5 ways to do blah, 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 blah. Like, that's just not like, that's 2 years ago. That's in the past. I don't really care to do that much anymore. Like I like to come in, talk about things in real time, like share some takeaways, like even if it's beyond money, if it's about business or if it's about, mindset, lifestyle, things like that. So truly, truly appreciate y'all. But so y'all, if you haven't watched the Netflix series or the documentary, definitely watch it. It's called Get Smart with Money. You can find it on Netflix. And it was so good. And I want to just say that it was so refreshing to see so many different people, like so many different ethnicities, and seeing like other like money coaches um talk more about strategy, like talk more about things other than like stop going to Starbucks or, stop drinking all the coffees and then you'll be able to, make ends meet because that is just not reality all the time. And it was so refreshing not to see like so much like shame, like no one felt like watching it. I didn't feel like any of the coaches like shamed anyone. It honestly felt like a safe space for people to come and get the help that they needed. And like you saw before the documentary was over, you were able to see like the transformation. And I think maybe they worked together for a year or something like that. But it was really impactful. And I know, like for me, so before I even started the Honest Plan, and you guys, this is my first ever like business journal or business like binder that I got when I first started the Honest Plan, like when it was just a YouTube page. And I was like, yeah, all I want to do is come on here and talk to people about my journey. And I didn't even think that being a coach was like a money coach was a thing. And all I really saw was like Dave Ramsey, like literally, that's all I saw. So I would like binge watch his like podcasts and stuff like that. Like I knew his theories like the back of my hand because like that's all I saw. And then I started doing more research and I'm trying to find it. Okay. And then I started doing more research because I'm like, gosh, there's no black women in this space. Like there's no one. And then I found 3 people that stood out to me. I found the Budgetnista, I found Tanya Rapley, and I found Marsha Barnes. So the Budgetnista, that's Tiffany. Tanya Rapley, she owns My Fat Finance, and then Marsha owns the Finance Bar. And when I found them, I have it in here. Like, where is it? Like, where is it at? I have it in here. But when I found them, I was so intrigued that I was like, oh my gosh, I need to know all about them. Like, I need to know how they got to where they are. Like, I just want y'all to know that I'm not lying. I want to know like how they got to like where they are now, and I don't even know where I put it. It's in this thing somewhere. To the point where I was like searching them on YouTube. I was searching them on I should have had it out before I got on here. But I was searching them on YouTube. I was searching them on podcasts and I was listening to all their podcasts and just kind of listening to like how they got to where they are now. Yeah, I can't find it. It's in here. All these in here some freaking where. Where? Who knows? I don't know. I've had this thing for a long time. Trying to prove a point to y'all. Can't even prove it. It's in here somewhere. I don't know. But anyway, so like literally did so much homework on them. So it was like really, really, I feel like it was like a full circle moment to watch, her. Oh, here it is. To watch her on Netflix. So yeah. But let's get into it. Some takeaways. So I have 15. That's how good it was. I had 15. So the first takeaway that I have from the documentary, who I was talking about Tiffany, Tanya, and Marsha. But the first takeaway that I have is so many people think that making more money will be the ultimate solution to living a more financially fulfilling life. In the documentary, we saw a young man. I think he got like recruited to play the NFL and got signed for like a 1.6 or $1.7 million contract. Of course, a lot of us have never just stumbled across that much money before. So it's like, oh my gosh, like I've made it. I hit it. Like I hit the jackpot. I've, got the ultimate come up. Like I don't have to worry about living paycheck to paycheck anymore. Like I can just live. Like I can just live. Don't have to worry about anything. And then he kind of like walked us through the journey from getting signed to then getting hurt and then getting let go. And then in the span of like that first year or two, he went from $1.6 million to now $200,000. And he was talking about like how that experience helped him understand like how quickly money can go if you do not have a plan. So many of us are like, I don't have to budget and I don't have to, learn how to manage more money because my goal is just to make more. And if I make more, that'll solve all of my problems. But see, that's not always the case. Like we see all the time, so many people win the lottery, like billions of dollars, millions of dollars, win the lottery. And then years later, they have nothing to show for it. Why? Because we didn't develop those money management skills like in our starting phases. Like we have to have something concrete, some type of plan. It does not have to be so elaborate, but some type of financial literacy, some type of money management plan in the beginning stages. So then when we do get more money, we know how to steward over it and we know how to make it last. We know how to make it grow. So it is a blessing and not something that actually ends up tearing us down even more. So that was one thing that I saw. Second thing, we like to spend first and invest and save last. We spend first and invest and save last. And then we go back and we're like, where's our money? Where did my money go? Like, I don't know why I don't have enough in savings because I, make X amount of dollars, but my savings account just doesn't show for that. And it's because we're doing it backwards. A lot of times when we're like, okay, I'm going to pay my bills first, and then I'm going to go shopping first, and then whatever is left, I'm going to save it. How many times do we end up seeing that there's nothing left? Like there's nothing left. That's just kind of how it ends up being. There is nothing left. Because that's just kind of not how it works. So like pay yourself first, save first, invest first, tithe first, and then live off what's left. Because also that what is that? That's teaching you like how to live within your means. Like instead of living off the whole 100%, you're only living off 80% because you're like saving 10% and investing 10%. Like you're making the first 10% work for you, like work towards your goals or work towards your next like season of life. And then the rest of it is like for bills and splurge items, travel, things like that. But it's easier to manage money when you do kind of like the heavy lifting off first. Um, the third thing is lifestyle inflation. So lifestyle inflation is when our income increases and then our expenses increases at that same rate. So let's say we go from making $50,000 a year to now we're making $75,000 a year. And so that with that $25,000 jump of money that you're earning each year, you've increased your expenses that much. So you're like, okay, yeah, like I felt tight with the $50,000 and now I have an extra $25,000 annually. Let me buy myself a new car, because I deserve it. When there's nothing wrong with the car that you have already, you everything was fine. Maybe you just kind of wanted some more money to be able to, reach more goals. But you didn't necessarily need to go and move into now a luxury apartment or buy a new car or, just kind of splurge more. So then what it ends up feeling like is okay, if you once felt relief because you got a $25,000 pay increase, but now that relief is quickly sucked away from you because now you're feeling tight again. You're feeling tight again, and that's because your expenses just increased as well. So just being mindful of okay, lifestyle inflation. What are some things that I can do when I'm experiencing an increase in my job or I'm experiencing, a new income stream come my way? How can I manage this new influx of money so that, I don't put myself in that same exact predicament? So, of course, not judging anyone, but just kind of being mindful because it's so easy to, find to get a new stream of income and just want to treat yourself. And there's nothing wrong with that. But if you are constantly doing that at a consistent rate, again, as income increases, your expenses increases at that expense at that same rate, or you're adding on monthly expenses that still end up, decreasing that gap in between income and bills, then you're going to be in that same exact boat. It's kind of you're just kind of hitting a ceiling every time you're hitting a ceiling. There needs to be a gap in between your income and your expenses. That's when you have room for saving and investing, when there's a gap in between those. But if income and household expenses are the same exact thing, you don't have a lot of money to save, to invest, to travel, to do more of the things that you love. You just have enough money to just live. So that's one thing that I saw. Fourth thing is that we spend a lot of money on things that we don't even feel adds value to our lives. So one of the things that I saw, one of the things that really, really stood out to me is when a scene with Tiffany and her mentee, Ariana. She was asking her, if you had Oprah money, what is something that you would love to do? You would love to be able to do more of, um, it would bring you so much joy, so much fulfillment. You would feel like you really made it if you were able to do what? And Ariana started to get teary eyed, and she was like, "Well, I would love to be able to travel more with my children. I would love to be able to make more lifelong memories with my children." And quickly she was able to realize that, okay, my spending of what I'm doing right now, I think she was saying that Target and Amazon was her biggest downfalls of where her money was going. And she's like, okay, if I can cut back on these two, what I can now do with that money is do more of what would make me happy, more of whatever that thing was that ended up bringing tears to my eyes, which for her was to be able to show her son, the world. That was the one thing. If she had Oprah money, she would just love to be able to do that. So ask yourself, okay, if I feel like I'm spending a lot of money, if I feel like, I'm splurging a lot, where is this money going to? Is it going to things that actually make me happy? Going to things that I feel like are actually adding value to my life? As in, after I do it, like I'm feeling like, okay, like I'm proud of that. Like I don't feel a way about it. Like I'm happy with my decision. Or is it something like after you spend money on this certain thing, the next day you're like, dang, why did I do that? Like I want my $50 back. Like it just wasn't even worth it. I don't even really care for this item that much. Like it just was a waste of time, it was a waste of money. Like my money could have been better spent, elsewhere. So just figure out like the money that I'm spending, is it on things that add value to my life, that get me closer to my goals? Or is it just kind of things that make me feel good temporarily and the next day cause me stress? And if that's something that you're seeing, then okay, let's assess that. Let's go back to the drawing board, um, and figure out what are some other ways that I can be using my money, or what are some boundaries that I can be putting in place so that I can have less of I'm spending my money on things that in the long term cause me stress. You know, um, and a lot of things, like a lot of times, and I think I put this in somewhere. I'm pretty sure I did because there's no order. I was like, as I was watching the documentary and things were like coming up, I was like just typing stuff. But one thing that I saw also is that your mindset and where you are now in life mentally can affect your money. So if you are feeling depressed, if you are feeling down and discouraged, that can you'll end up seeing that affect your money, because now you're looking for ways to add, like to make yourself happy. And a lot of times, especially for women, what we look for is retail therapy. We look for retail therapy. We look for some quick, satisfying purchases that'll make us happy in this moment, but don't really fix the underlying problem, which could kind of just be how we view ourselves, past mistakes maybe that we made that we're still holding on to. So it's not really the retail therapy that's making us happy. It's just kind of adding on a band-aid. So just being mindful of like, okay, where am I at right now? Is there something going on in my life that is causing me to spend money in ways that I shouldn't? Spend money in ways that are taking me further and further and further away from my goal. So that is that. Number either 5 or number 6, girl. I don't know. We limit ourselves to just one stream of income. There was another lady on there. I cannot remember her name, but she was a server, and she also was very skilled in like arts and things like that, and had a love for dogs and stuff. And in the beginning, she was just putting so much weight on, I have to make it work with my serving job. Like my serving job has to work out. It has to, it has to, it has to. This is the only way. Like, I don't know if I need to pick up more hours, or, I don't know if I need to get a higher paying serving job, maybe when I'm getting more tips. But her coach was able to kind of like show her, okay, no, like what would it look like if you keep your same serving job, but look for other ways to create additional streams of income? Like, what would that look like? What would that look like? And was able to kind of just break down for her, like, what are some skills that you have right now that you're sleeping on that could possibly be making you more money? And she's like, okay, well, I have a love for dogs. I really, really love dogs. And I really, really love art. I love to draw. Um, and so together they were able to come up with some like creative ways to add more money to her pocket, which were being a dog walker, and also like sketching pictures of dogs and like handing them out to other people. So I think this was my next point, like getting comfortable uh with getting out there and marketing your expertise to other people, no one knows what you do not tell them. So, not relying on just one stream of income, but then when you find that second income stream or that creative way that you can now market yourself and get more, money in your pocket, don't be afraid to market yourself. Scream it from the rooftop. Scream it from the rooftop. No one knows what you don't tell them. Sometimes we get in our own head like, okay, well, I told people once before on Instagram stories that I am now interested in being a dog walker, or that I'm an artist and I can come and, draw murals for people. I said it one time and no one reached out. So I guess that means no one values me, or I guess that means, this is not something that I'll be good at. So I'm just going to quit. No, you just didn't say it enough. You didn't say it enough. Scream it from the rooftop. Be comfortable with being uncomfortable, because sometimes marketing yourself feels uncomfortable, especially when you're first starting. A lot of people think that marketing yourself is selling, it's being salesy, it's throwing things down people's throat, and it's not. Selling is an act of service. If you have something that someone else needs, if you have something that will fill a void in someone else's life. So for instance, the young lady, she loves dogs. She wanted to be, a dog walker. She could market herself to busy professionals that work a 9 to 5, maybe, miles away from their house. And they feel guilty for having to leave their dogs at home. Having to leave their dogs at home all day, without getting a bathroom break. So then when they get home, they're like, oh my gosh, I'm tired. I don't have the energy to play with my dog. My dog's been here all day by himself. Like, it just makes me feel so bad. She's feeling a void because she can come in while the person is out, away, making money, working a busy 9 to 5 life. She can come in and walk the dog, maybe play with the dog for 30 minutes. And the person now feels a relief, like they feel better about pursuing their corporate career because now they know that their dog is taken care of. So scream it from the rooftop. Scream it from the rooftop. If you have something that fills a void in someone else's life, market it. Market it. Make sure everyone knows. Make sure everyone knows. And it doesn't matter how many times you say it, because sometimes it takes people to see it, like maybe they've already seen it 20 times. You said it 20 times. They came across your post 20 times. Maybe it's on that 25th time of you saying the exact same thing that they're like, you know what? Let me hit her up. Let me hit her up because actually I do need this, and actually her services are priced in my price point, and she seems consistent. She seems trustworthy, especially if you're in a service field where like you're getting close to people. Like as a dog walker, you're getting close to people's, animal. People look at their animals as a part of their family. Like I don't have a child, but my dog, I look at her like as my child. Like we are very protective over her. So just from me seeing someone post one time, like, hey, I'm a dog walker, I'm offering the service now, that one time isn't enough for me. I need to see reviews. I need to see them being consistent. I need to see them showing me like, hey, I'm a dog walker and I'm walking Chloe, and look at Chloe, and she's excited and she's having a great time. And I worn her out, and now she just kind of wants to rest and relax until her parents come, and now she's going to be energized when her parents come, and she's going to be so happy to see them. Like I'm going to need to see that, because one, I'm not going to feel comfortable just like giving you the code to my house and you coming in and you getting my dog. Like, how do I know you're not going to steal when you get in here and I'm not home? How do I know that you're going to treat my dog nicely and bring her back to me in one piece? How do I know that you are skilled in handling a hyper dog? My dog is super, super hyper. And so I need to see that you are skilled in doing that. Like my dog, sometimes she likes to dart out. I need to see that you know how to handle dogs that are not as calm. So it might take that 25th time of you saying the exact same thing for someone to be like, you know what, she's proven herself to me. She's consistent, she's reliable. Now I'm going to book with her. So do not get tired and do not get discouraged on that first 24 times and no one has booked with you. Okay. So I hope that made sense. I feel like it did. I felt like that was really good. I felt like that was good. One another thing is create scalable offers off of one expertise. Increase your one thing that they said was increase your income without increasing your efforts. So I talked about this on my page one time. So what I mean by that is I think the example that I used once before is being a chef. So let's say you are a chef, but you are looking for multiple ways to profit off of being a chef, not just one. So the first thing that comes to a lot of people's mind is I'm a chef, and the only way I can make money is by doing private and corporate functions and dinners and things like that. No, there's so many things that you can do off of your expertise of, knowing how to properly prepare foods and plate foods and season foods and pick out the perfect meats, that there's multiple different things that you can do off that one expertise. It could be creating an ebook on, I know, like for me, I'm a new wife. I'm not the best cook at all. So I would be interested in like buying an ebook or a digital cookbook on like 20 beginner friendly meals, that everyone can do, or dummy free. Like break it down. Like break it down. Do not have me out here. Y'all, one day I was on my Instagram live or Instagram stories, and I was like telling people that I was going to make this smothered chicken thing. And they were like, oh, yeah, like make your gravy from scratch. It's so easy. I got in this kitchen and I started making that gravy. And do you know it was the hardest thing that I have done? The hardest thing that I had to cook. I burnt the gravy 4 times. I had to start over 4 different times. And it was from people telling me, oh, it's so easy. It's so easy. There's so many YouTube videos, blah, 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 blah. But if I had a digital cookbook on the 20 top, dummy free or dummy proof, or 10 beginner friendly meals that anyone can cook, that would have alleviated me from even thinking that I can go from level one to homemade gravy, So that's something. So maybe you're a private chef, you can do, release a digital cookbook. You can, have like affiliate links. So maybe you get on live and you talk in you're engaging with your audience, and they're asking you, oh, that pot and pan set that you are using, I noticed that it's like non-stick and like it's big and it's that, like, where did you get it from? Instead of just saying like, hey, I got it from Target and this is the exact link, actually have it be an affiliate link. So while you're sharing the link with someone, now you're getting paid on the back end, like a certain percentage of commission for referring that product. And you're doing the same, like you're doing what you always do. You're just being a chef. You're just being you. You're connecting with your audience. So not only are you connecting with your audience and like reeling in new people to now want to work with you and now want to book you, to come and cater for their next event, but you're also making money by affiliate links. So right there, we just named 3 different things that you can be doing off one expertise that does not really add that much extra effort on your plate. So now you have multiple streams flowing in off of being an expert in one thing. One thing. So does that make sense, you guys? And if you have questions, drop them in here. I don't mind answering them. The next one, this is either number 8 or number 9, is the power of automating bills and automating your investments. Automation makes managing money easy. When you are first starting off your financial journey, you want to look for ways to make this journey easy. Make it easy for you to win. Like I tell you guys, when you have a business, make it easy for people to give you money. When you are on your financial journey, make it easy for you to win. Make it easy for you to win. How you're doing things right now might not be working because you're trying to do all the heavy lifting on your own. You're trying to do all the things on your own. You're trying to pay all your bills by yourself. You're trying to move money from your checking to your savings by yourself. You're trying to move money from your checking to your investment account by yourself. No, look for ways to automate this so it makes it a no brainer to win. You want to make it a no brainer for you to win in this season. That's how you change the trajectory of your financial journey. You make it easy for you to win. So what that looks like is you can automate like where your paycheck goes. So you can you can either get on the phone with HR, or you can sometimes they'll have it where you don't even have to actually talk to anyone. You can just get on your employer's website or however you get paid, um, and break up like how your automatic payment, is that what it's called? Auto draft. You can automate like where your paycheck goes. So you can say, okay, 10% is automatically going to go to my high yield savings account. Say it with me. High yield savings account. 10% in my investment account. So and so percent in my bill account. So and so percent in my personal account. Like that, like make it super easy for you to win. Do not put all the weight and the pressure on yourself to where you feel like you have to do all the things. You have to juggle all the balls because it's going to be exhausting. It's going to be exhausting. And that's one thing that I love about like, managing my money. And people ask me all the time, like, what's your secret sauce? Automating. So that was either number 8 or number 9. And so my next one is separating. Separating your money. Automate and separate. Automate and separate. Automate and separate. Automate and separate. You want to automate where your paycheck goes. But while you're automating where that paycheck is going, it's going into separate accounts. Separate accounts. You definitely need a bill account. This is money that the only use of this money is to go to things that are covering your 4 walls. Your 4 walls. What I like to say is when you're thinking about, okay, well, Tiana, how do I know what things are my 4 walls? Meaning, if I don't pay this, someone is going to come knocking at my door. Someone is going to come looking for me. I'm going to owe a late payment. Like I'm going to owe someone something. It's going to ding my credit. That is your 4 walls. That could be rent, mortgage, car insurance, car payment, credit card bills. Fill in the blank to where you are right now. You guys get the gist. Those are your 4 walls. If you don't pay it, someone's going to come looking for you, knocking at your door. A bill collector is going to come calling your phone, or your credit is going to get dinged. Those 3 things. If you can answer yes to any of those questions, someone's going to come knocking at my door. Bill collectors are going to come calling me, or my credit is going to get dinged. Then that is a 4 wall. That is a bill expense. It needs to be covered in your bill account. And then you have you have your personal account. Those are some things that's like like your personal allowance. Your personal allowance. Of course, you need money for yourself. You might need money for groceries, gas, just the money that you're giving yourself to live off of. So that might be like eating out money, or if you are one of my girlies that like to get your nails done once a month or something like that, like your allowance money, that this money is still important, like it's still valid, but the amount varies from month to month. And it's okay if you have a month where instead of putting the 400, like what I can afford this month is to put 300, like it won't be as big as of a deal to decrease this money by $100, because this is the money that you have to make work, like you don't owe anybody, like you don't really owe your nail tech anything, like you don't have to go this month. If you have to sacrifice and not get your nails done this month, it'll be okay, so have something for that. And the reason why I like to separate these two accounts is a lot of the times, some of us are living paycheck to paycheck, or we are feeling like we're robbing Peter to pay Paul, because all of our money is in one bucket and we're trying to save, invest, pay bills, and live off of one bucket. And we're getting our nails done, we're getting our hair done, we are splurging, and then it's time to pay our cell phone bill and we realize that we're short $30. That happens because all of our money is in one bucket, so it's hard to differentiate what is what. Make it easy for you to win. Make it easy. So that is that. Another thing. This is really good to me. Something that Tiffany said was, shame takes you from I made a mistake to I am a mistake. I was like, golly, isn't that good? That was good. She said, shame takes you from I made a mistake to I am a mistake. This goes back to like the mindset thing. Like when we're starting off our journey, sometimes it's reactive. We're starting off our journey because like we've already we've already did things incorrectly the first time, and we're like fixing our bad mistakes, and in that journey of fixing and redoing things that we've done in the past as college kids and as early 20-year-olds, it's so easy to look back and you're like so hard on yourself and you're like, why would I do that? That was so stupid. Like I knew better than that. And like just pounding, like just consistently downing yourself to the point where now you're kind of depressed. Like now you don't even want to go on this journey because you don't even feel like you're capable. You don't feel like you're worthy of an abundant life because you made such a mistake. And your actions were a mistake. You're not a mistake. It's differentiating the two. When you're starting your journey, my actions were a mistake. My past actions were a mistake. Maxing out my credit card was a mistake. Tiana, am not a mistake. You have to be able to differentiate the two, and forgive yourself. Forgive yourself for not knowing what you didn't know, but also honoring yourself and patting yourself on the back and congratulating yourself for being willing to take this new journey. I'm forgiving the old me, and I'm super freaking proud of the new me because I haven't seen it before. No one in my family has done it before, and I am determined to make it happen. And let the past be the past. Don't look at it like, oh my gosh, I have $10,000 worth of credit card debt and I'm so stupid and all this and all that. It's already done. It's already done. It's no point in dwelling on it. It's no point in blowing it out of proportion and making it something bigger than what it needs to be, because that doesn't change the fact that it's there, and that doesn't get you to your goal and your destination any faster. So learning to forgive, learning to move on, and learning to celebrate yourself. Next thing, I believe this is number 10. Living paycheck to paycheck subjects you to live a life of constant fear and looking over your shoulder. That's one thing that they talked about in the film. Living paycheck to paycheck. Oh, my husband is in the kitchen. Living paycheck to paycheck subjects you to live a life of constant fear and looking over your shoulder. Because because without a safety net, what it makes you do is sit there and constantly worry, like, Lord, I hope my car doesn't break down today. I know, right? In there, I don't even know what he's doing. I don't know what he's doing. In there messing with stuff. Been upstairs this whole time. Now I don't lie. You in there messing with stuff. Um, but it makes you kind of look over your shoulder all the time and be like, gosh, I hope my car doesn't break down today because I can't afford it. And gosh, like I hope no one needs me, or and I hope my child doesn't get sick today because I have no way to afford it. It's constant stress. It's constant fear, and you're never really able to like smell the roses and enjoy the fruits of your labor because you're like, I know I'm hanging on by a thread, like a thread. I know I'm hanging on by a thread, and if this thread breaks, I'm getting thrown in the fire. That's kind of what it subjects you to by not having an emergency fund, by not having anything to really hold you over. That's what it subjects you to. I'm going to try to hurry up because my iPad is about to die. My next thing is community, 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 community. A lot of the mentees were talking about how stressful it is and how much worry it is not having someone, a reliable community to be able to talk to when it comes to this journey. A lot of people were saying, like, I would love to be able to talk to someone about the things that I'm going through, the things that I'm experiencing, but unfortunately, not everyone understands. Unfortunately, not everyone is like trustworthy. So having a community when you're on this journey, like find your people. And I know for the Black community, it's such a taboo to talk about money with people, but let us be the ones like to break that generational curse, to break that mindset of I cannot talk to money like to other people, or talking to other people about money is bad, because it's not. It's freeing. It's rewarding. It's so rewarding. In the beginning of the year or the end of last year, when I launched the Paycheck to Pocket Club, just having women in a community that understood the weight and understood what it felt like to sacrifice and understood what it felt like to be taking on new extra gigs and new roles to make ends meet was so rewarding. And I tell you, like, so many people's lives were changed by being in the room. So many people's lives were changed. So many connections were made. Like, so many people went from not knowing each other at all to leaving our calls, like exchanging numbers and sending each other like affirmational texts every day, because like they valued that type of community. Like they valued having someone in their corner that just truly understood. So let us be the ones that debunk that myth that I cannot talk to anyone about money, because you're just putting yourself in a box. You're leaving yourself to kind of just worry and stress out on your own. And it's okay to like reach out and get help too. So outside of like having a community of friends, like reaching out to an expert, reaching out to an expert that can help you. Like you do not have to struggle on your own. There are people out here that can help you, me being one of them. But like a lot of people, because I understand I'm not the coach for everyone. Like I'm a money coach. I'm not the coach. I'm not the perfect fit for everyone. So finding that person that you mesh with, finding that person that you're like, okay, they understand my struggle. Like when I listen to their story, I can relate to where they are or where they used to be, and their testimonials, like the people that they have helped. Like I feel like I can benefit from it too. Like I can see myself in their stories, and work with that person. Like, work with that person. It is so much like on the outside of like the transfer of like value. So monetary value for like information. Like once you get to a point where you're willing to invest in your transformation, when you're ready to invest in like getting yourself to this next stage of life, um you'll start to see like a lot of transformation happen that would have taken you a year, 2 years to do by yourself, but now with a coach is only taking you, 3 to 6 months. It just kind of accelerates that process. So do not be afraid to find community and to get help. The power of your words, the things that you dwell on will happen. This is kind of tied into my 10th point where I said like living paycheck to paycheck subjects you to live a constant life of fear. One thing that one of the girls said in the documentary is that she literally kept saying like, I hope my car doesn't break down, or my car is going to break down one day. Like, I just know my car is going to break down. This. Before the end of the documentary, guess what? Her car broke down. Because your words have power. What you dwell on will happen. I'm a person, y'all, my house is covered in sticky notes. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and I'm grouping all these together. 8, 9, 10 sticky notes in my office right now. I have probably 20 in my bedroom, like just spread out between like my prayer closet and in my bathroom. Like, I am constantly affirming myself, and I am constantly watching the words that I allow come out my mouth. And I'm constantly like reading affirming things. I'm constantly reading affirming things. Like right now, just sitting here, one thing that I can read is I imagine myself free, whole, happy. I can't remember. It says, I imagine myself free, whole, happy, and helping others for the kingdom of God. I'm here to serve others and impact many. Um, there's so many around that I can just kind of just read. Like on the times that I'm feeling like I'm down on myself, or I'm feeling like I'm doing too much and getting too little. One thing I can read right here. So let's not get tired of doing what is good, and just at the right time, we will reap a harvest of blessing if we don't give up. It's right here stuck to my computer. So when I'm working late night, and I'm like so specific on like which affirmation I put where. Like, it's no coincidence that that affirmation is stuck to my computer. Something that I am constantly working at, something that I'm constantly looking at every single day, especially now that I've just gone full time. I spend a lot of time here. Like, I might spend late nights here, like where I'm used to going to bed at 10 o'clock on the dot. It might look like I'm going to bed at 2 or 3 a.m. And I'm like, well, why am I doing this? I'm not seeing the money. I'm not seeing the return right now. Boom. So let's not get tired of doing what is good. At just the right time, we will reap a harvest of blessing if we don't give up. Galatians 6:9. Affirming yourself. Your words have power. Like, I refuse to be a person where I'm constantly dwelling on the bad things of life and the bad what ifs, because on the other side of a bad what if is a positive. Is a positive. What if my car breaks down? Well, what if everything's good? What if everything's good and I'm able to pay it off and I never have any problems? And what if I never have any problems and I'm able to pass this car down to my brother and my sister? You know? So instead of saying the what if, fill in the blank with something bad, what if feeling something good? What if my car breaks down and I have no money to fix it? No. What if I pay off my car by the end of the year? You know, your words have power. If you are struggling with self doubt and negative self talk, affirm yourself. Slap sticky notes everywhere. Slap sticky notes on on your dashboard in your car. So when you're driving to work and you're like, gosh, I'm hearing stuff. It could just be the road, like where you're driving at right now is just kind of bumpy. So when I'm feeling like all these noises and I'm cranking up my car and it kind of sounds like it's stuttering. Nope, I have it right here on my dashboard. What if I pay off my car by the end of the year? And if you need to follow it up with a scripture that affirms you that whatever you set your mind to or whatever that you ask for through God is done. Like put something positive and then underneath follow it up with a scripture and where like it says whatever you ask for is already done, you know? So that was that. The next thing is that credit cards aren't bad, but how you manage them determine the role that they play in your life. So when you're starting off on your financial journey, and let's say you have cards that are maxed out, and your goal is to pay them off or to reduce them down below the 10% utilization rate. It is a good thing to not think of like, okay, my credit card is the reason why I'm in this. I'm just going to completely, cut up my cards and throw them away and cancel them. The credit card isn't bad. It's just how you manage them. So it's okay when you're first starting off to pause, like to pause putting any money on, like any new money on this credit card. Like, let's just not use it for a second because let's condition yourself to learn how to manage just your debit cards. Remember, we talked about we're going to automate and we're going to separate. So let's get that down packed first. Let's figure out where our money is going. Let's figure out some new healthy alternatives. Let's figure out some boundaries first with just our debit card. When we master that, and when we master like debt reduction, when we master spending within our limits, and when we really feel like we're in a place where we can honestly trust ourselves, okay, now let's add our card back in there. Because a credit card is a wealth building tool. It's a wealth building tool. I'll never be a coach that will tell you having a credit card is bad. Having a credit card can be a wealth building tool for you. It really can. I use my credit card to travel for little to no money. I traveled on my honeymoon last year to Jamaica. Me and my husband, we went to Jamaica for 5 days. So we got like a nice resort and we got our plane ticket completely free. Completely free from credit card points. So I will never be a person that will tell you that credit cards are bad because they're not. We just have to like condition ourselves to understand how to use them, condition ourselves to understand, okay, my old self, my college self, my younger 20s, my younger 30s, I used to max it out. I used to look at it as free money. Now I understand from experience, which I'm not bashing myself. Remember, I'm learning from my past experiences. I understand that credit cards are not bad. I just need to manage them properly. And I only need to put on how much I'm able to pay off by the end of the month. Because that 16% of interest is no joke. That 16% of interest is no joke. And a lot of us that have had credit card debt or are currently like trying to figure out how to pay off credit card debt, and we're just paying the minimum, and now the minimum is only putting like $50 towards our principal and all the rest of it is going to our interest rate. We're seeing how much that 16% keeps us in a bondage. It's not the credit card that's bad. It's how we were managing it. It's how we were using it. We were looking at it as free money. It's far from free. That 16% is far from free. It is a silent killer. So instead of it being free money, I'm only putting on there what I can afford to pay off by the end of the month. I am using this credit card as a wealth building tool. And also, one thing that I love to tell people is when you're thinking about, okay, well, what credit cards should I even have? You should have credit cards that are taking you to the next level of life, that complement the person that you're becoming, that do not cap your potential. What I mean by that is, let's go back to the young lady that said her biggest goal, if she had Oprah money, she wanted to travel. It would be really good for her to have a card where she got like a lot of points and perks to use towards travel. That's her next level self. She was saying once she gets, the money and once she's able to financially afford it, that's something that she wants to do for herself and for her family. She wants to travel more. So get a credit card that supports your next level self. Do not get a credit card that supports the person that you are right now that you're currently outgrowing. So a Ulta credit card. Like, yeah, you might like makeup, but if you're not a makeup artist and you have to buy like all these, products and stuff, that 10% that you're only using Ulta isn't really a great perk. It's capping your potential. That's something that you can only use at Ulta. The 10% really is not that much. It's not supporting your next level self. It's supporting where you are right now, which is a place that you're currently elevating from. So Macy's cards. Hey Gerard, can you pass me my charger, my iPad charger? iPad charger. It's in the room. I think it's in my nightstand. Sorry, all my iPad's about to die. Can't remember what I was saying, but credit cards that support your next level self. Basically, that's what I was saying. What was next? We have two more. The 14th thing is being a good steward over your money attracts new money. And I can attest to this firsthand. Can you plug this in right here? I can attest to this firsthand. Every time, like plug it into the yeah. Every time people work with me and we start to get on a good groove, they're like, well, wait, like Tiana, like where's this money coming from? Like how, like out of nowhere, I'm feeling like I'm trying to see what I'm pulling it. Where is this money coming from? And I'm feeling like out of nowhere, I have an influx of money that I didn't have before working with you. And it's like, literally, there's not one person that's worked with me that has not had that experience. Not one person. And you know why? Because stewarding over your money attracts new money. Attracts new money, new opportunities. Not only does it attract new money, but it frees up old money too. So I'm sorry, you guys. I'm moving up my iPad. I'm trying to. I'm sorry. Now I'm kind of like slanted, but I didn't want it to cut off on you guys. But stewarding over your money attracts new money and it frees up old money. I'm telling you, it's like clockwork. I have not had one client that I've worked with that out of the blue did not get like an influx of money or just kind of felt like they had more money than they needed, which prior to working with me, they felt like they didn't have enough. So we went from not enough to more than I need. Why? Because I created a plan. Why? Because I know where my money's going. Why? Because I'm clear on my goals. I'm telling you, it's not a coincidence. It's not a coincidence. I think actually that was my 15th thing because I went out of order a little bit. That was my 15th thing. So that was the 15 things, my 15 biggest takeaways from the Netflix documentary Get Smart with Money, with our good sis, Budgetnista. It was 4 other people on there. But with our good sis, the Budgetnista, absolutely love her. Absolutely loved being able to kind of just see her do that and see her in that light. And just like I said in the beginning, watch a documentary where they talked about strategy. Like I am a person that likes to talk about strategy. You will never get on a call with me. And the only thing I'm saying to you is stop going to Starbucks, stop eating out. Like of course we're going to get there because that's a part of it. Like understanding where your money is going and if this aligns with your goals and the person that you're trying to become. But that's not the only thing. That's not the only thing. You still have to learn boundaries. You still have to talk about mindset. You still have to talk about investing, increasing your income streams. It's so much more than shaming people for going to Starbucks. So much more than that. And I would never be that person. Like never be that person. So it was definitely a breath of fresh air. And if you haven't watched it, I would definitely recommend you watching it because I feel like there's even after, I went through these 15 things, I still feel like there's something that you can get out of it. There's if I'm a money coach and there was 15 things that I got out of it, if you're on your financial journey, there are things that you can get out of it, maybe that were not in my top 15 that you can apply to your life. So like if you are, when I talked about wanting to get into community or wanting to invest in yourself, but you don't actually have the funds, the best way to invest in yourself is to really plug into the free resources that are out there. So many podcast episodes. You guys, I just launched my 15th podcast episode today, and this right here will be 16 because I'm going to make this into a podcast episode. This is number 16. If you really go through my podcast, without a doubt, there are things that you can apply to your life financially, mentally, your business. Like it's so many gems. So many gems. I brought in, experts in different fields that drop nothing but gems for free. For free. Don't have to pay them a dime. Drop gems for free because they actually care about building other women up. So plugging into the free resources of different people's podcasts, books. The Budgetney says she has a book, Get Good with Money. And while, the actual book isn't free, a library card is free. And I just actually started to use library cards. Like, look, I'm a money coach and I'm investing. Y'all, my nails are trash. Like, don't judge me. My nails are trash. I understand. I've been picking at them and I'm getting them done. Don't come for me. So I'm a money coach, but I'm investing in my education. I don't know everything about credit. I don't know the ins and outs of credit. And I just went full time. Like I don't have, the resources to invest in every last coach that I see underneath the sun that I love. But you know what I do have? Free resources. And this takes discipline. These are library books. These are library books, absolutely free. And this is just a book of I saw someone do a review on this on TikTok, and I was like, oh, that sounds good. So I got that too. It's another book that I have in here about money too. And so this takes more discipline because you don't have anyone that's going to check in on you to make sure you did what you said you were going to do. When you have a coach, they're holding you to a high expectation. They're checking in on you, making sure that your goals that you said are getting accomplished and things like that. But when you are plugging into free resources, it's up to you to prioritize yourself. It's up to you to prioritize what you put on your vision board. No one else is going to come in and say, hey, that library book that you checked out 5 weeks ago, have you finished it? Have you learned anything? Have you, took any notes on it? Like, have you applied it to your life? Like, I'm reading this for myself as a money coach, and I'm like, oh, dang, I didn't know that. Like, I didn't know that. Like, let me make sure that I implement this for my credit score so I can see an increase. So I can, get to an 800 one day, So if you don't have the resources to invest in a coach, do not let that be a reason to not become more financially responsible. Do not let that be the reason that you're not accomplishing your financial goals. It's not a reason. There's so many resources. So many resources. I'm like, I don't even, when I'm driving in the car, I don't even really listen to music. I drive in the car and I'm listening to Audible books and I'm listening to podcasts. Why? Because I want to be a constant learner. There's always something that I need to learn. Always something like I don't want to say like I love music. I love music. But right now where I'm in a stage where I'm stepping out on faith. Like, the newest songs, the K97.5 will be there, once I reach the person that I want to become, like once I get to a place where I can like chill. But right now it's grind season for me. It's grind season. So I'm driving and I'm listening to podcasts. I'm grocery shopping. I have my headphones in and I'm listening to Audible books. And I'm making it work for me. Like fitting it in your schedule. It's not something that you have to do every day and every night. But when you have a quick 30 minutes of free time and nothing going on, plug in a podcast. Plug in a podcast. You can literally type in something. Tips on building credit. Type it in on Google. Podcasts on building credit. Books on building credit. YouTube videos on building credit. And see what you find. I bet you'll find something that you can implement in like where you are right now. Without a doubt, you will. So if you don't have the money, do not let that stop you. But I love this. I enjoy this. I have been on here for an hour. Girl, who am I? Girl, who am I? I don't know. But this is good. This is really good. Girl, I had to like, I'm trying to be uber disciplined in acting on things quicker, like kind of like decreasing my time from idea to creation. So I had to literally pop 2 Advils to get on here and go live and talk to you and be like feeling good to even sit here and talk to you guys for an hour because I was cramping, like was not feeling good. Sis was not feeling good. And I was like, but no, like I took my notes on that podcast, on that documentary, and it was so good. And I know other people are going to do it, but I want to be the first one. So I was like, go ahead and take your 2 to 3 Advils, let it kick in, get up and go live. And guess what? That's what I did. Decreasing the time from idea to execution. That's what I'm trying to do. Wish me luck. Because it's gonna be a struggle. It's gonna be a struggle. But that is it for this. If you guys don't have any questions, let me see. Does anybody have questions on TikTok? No. Oh, you guys are talking in here. Thank you guys for sticking around. I enjoyed y'all. But y'all have a great night, and I will chat with you soon. Bye.